All right. New program seeks high-resolution neural interfaces for use by able-bodied service members. This is from 2018, so of course this is 7 years old. We already know what technology does. It doubles every so many days. Over the past 2 decades, the international biomedical research community has demonstrated increasingly sophisticated ways to allow a person's brain to communicate with a device. Did you hear me? Allowing breakthroughs aimed at improving quality of life. That's how they're going to sell it. We're going to make your life better. And I'm going to blow you away when I tell you that, in my opinion, there's no difference between any of the presidential administrations. That certain things have been allowed to happen to make this the standard in the world. And I'll get to all that. So bear with me through all this, because I know this is a lot to digest. There's a lot of technical jargon. The reason I'm not saying anything about Sabrina Wallace's videos and the technology that she uses is because it is so dense. There's so many different categories. You know, you have the electrical engineers, telecommunications union, and they all have their own little vernacular jargon that they use for the type of technologies that they're using. And I don't want to bastardize that, butcher it. I'd rather just say, here's the video, go watch it for yourself, take your time, listen to it over time, make your own decisions. So God bless Sabrina Wallace. That's all I can say. She's a national treasure. When y'all listen to her, y'all like, oh my God, this woman is spot on. And she has the bona fides to discuss those particular technologies way beyond me. So I'll let the experts do the talking, such as access to computers and the internet. Sabrina calls this the internet of I'm trying to get it correct. No, it's not things. There's something before that. Internet of body things. Internet of all things. Yeah, it's something like that. But again, I digress to Sabrina. So what has happened is they've turned our body into these receivers and transceivers that are already communicating. We just don't know the technology to be able to interface with the internet yet or interface with the computers, but it's coming. The more recently control of a prosthetic limb, basically that's DARPA has been in the forefront of this research. IARPA, that's the other one. You heard of IARPA? Okay, Jerry's on the ball over here. DARPA now seeks to achieve high levels of brain system communications without surgery in its new program, Next Generation Non-Surgical Neurotechnology, N3. DARPA created N3 to pursue a path to a safe, portable neural interface system capable of reading from and writing to multiple points in the brain at once. High-resolution, non-surgical neurotechnology has been elusive, but thanks to recent advances in biomedical engineering, neuroscience, synthetic biology, which is fake biology, and nanotechnology, we now believe the goal is attainable. Smart systems will significantly impact how our troops operate in the future, and now is the time to be thinking about what human-machine teaming will actually look like and how it might be accomplished. Noel and I were having a discussion this morning before we came here in our room, and we were talking about the military and obviously the Ukraine-Russian war. And part of what he was telling me is that, Putin wants to invade the United States. And we were discussing what's better, Russia or the United States right now. And my opinion, Russia. They don't have any transgenderism. They don't have homelessness. They don't have drug addiction. They don't have people that look like freaking weird ass zombies in the street, all strung out on fentanyl. They don't have homelessness. Their prices are good, clean environment. Tucker Carlson went over there and he was blown away and very impressed with Russia. So when we were discussing this, I was like, he's like, what are they going to do it, by other means? I was like, well, they got to get bodies over here. the battlefield of the future isn't going to be soldiers out there like we had in Vietnam or even the Civil War, where they're going to be on the front lines with an M16, when I can create basically a $20 drone with an explosive device on it that I can remotely from right here control it and fly it into somebody or into a building. That's where the warfare is going. AI is going to control all that. It's going to be an AI warfare. There's not going to be a human doing it. Humans are too error prone. Team selected for DARPA's next generation non-surgical neurotechnology program will pursue a mix of approaches to developing wearable interfaces for communicating with the brain. This is from 2019, which is 6 years ago, folks. DARPA has awarded funding to 6 organizations to support the next generation non-surgical neurotechnology N3 program, first announced March 2018. You see the entities. They want to develop high-resolution bidirectional brain-machine interfaces for use by able-bodied service members. These wearable interfaces could ultimately enable diverse national security applications, such as control of active cyber defense systems and swarms of unmanned aerial vehicles, or teaming with computer systems to multitask during complex missions. This is 2019, folks. What are they doing over in Ukraine? They're using drones. So we're here. We're already here. DARPA is preparing for a future in which a combination of unmanned systems, artificial intelligence, and cyber operations may cause conflicts to play out on timelines that are too short for humans to effectively manage with current technology alone. By creating a more accessible brain-machine interface that doesn't require surgery to use, DARPA could deliver tools that allow mission commanders to remain meaningfully involved in dynamic operations that unfold at rapid speed. Over the past 18 years, DARPA has demonstrated increasingly sophisticated neurotechnologies that rely on surgically implanted electrodes to interface with the central or peripheral nervous systems. Over the past 18 years, DARPA has demonstrated. So they've been using neurotechnologies for 18 years. And again, that's a 7-year-old article. And this goes into more and more about exactly what they're doing. I'm just hitting the highlights for you guys. There's a lot of information to present. If N3 is successful, we'll end up with wearable neural interface systems that can communicate with the brain from a range of just a few millimeters, moving neurotechnology beyond the clinic into practical use for national security. How many people have a Fitbit, a device, count steps, monitor your health? As you should be. That's the interfacing. This is an image of what a microscale implant looks like. And some of you have heard of Stardust. And this is a little bit older article. Stardust will deliver a conceptually new device for in vivo optogenics, electrophysiology triggered by local drug delivery for Parkinson's disease. And this is how they're going to incorporate anything, because most people, because of our current food and beverage system here in the United States, our bodies are so full of pollutants that our immune system's constantly working in overtime to keep us as healthy as possible. So most of us are going to cure these diseases with the chemtrails that they're spraying above, with the aluminum, the brontium, the strontium, and all these other heavy metal toxicities. Depress the immune system, depress the pineal gland, depress our intelligence, dumb us down, and all this is on purpose. In that, allegedly, are some of this smart dust. But we've been incorporated with these materials for a long, long time. I'm not going to get into, when this stuff should have been prevented, because I understand I have some MAGA people, Republicans here in the audience. I love my country. I love my state. I used to love Houston, adored it, can't stand it now. Why? Illegal immigration, corruption and fraud. It just, y'all are going through the same thing up here in Plano with the Muslims. I know it. And it's happening everywhere. I'll get into the whole government structure and why it is the way it is and what we can do it. Y'all missed the opening when I did my presentation of my treason against the state. So if y'all, I'll show it to you afterwards, or y'all can go back and watch the beginning of the video. As I was telling you guys yesterday, as far as we all know Six Flags of Texas, right? Okay, the Six Flags were other countries that were coming in trying to take over Texas, but the Texans were like not trying to hear it. So in protection, when they developed the state of Texas, they used articles and amendments of other constitutions, mainly Tennessee, incorporated in Texas. But due to Mexico being on one side, the United States being on another, France, Spain, all these other countries, Texas incorporated a clause or section in the Texas Constitution under Article 1, Section 22, called treason against the state of Texas. That's how important it was to Texans. As far as I know, I'm the only person in the world who has filed a bona fide two-party notarized affidavit of treason against the state of Texas. Absolutely. And it was completely ignored. To this day, it's been completely ignored by everybody. All the government officials, all the people on the federal level that are from this state, mainstream media, alternative media, every major county sheriff in Texas, they don't want to hear it, which tells me they're part of it. I filed that January 6th for a reason, to make a statement. 2024. I followed it up July of 2024, 6 months later, after I got no knock on my door, no text, no phone call, no email, that all you recipients must be complicit in the treason. Or otherwise, you would have one of your little minions in your staff like, hey, call that guy, see what this is all about. You know, see if he's legit. No. Pardon me? Greg Abbott, Ken Paxton, John Cornyn, Ted Cruz, Troy Nels.
No, but how did you file? Did you do it by registered mail?
I don't remember if I sent it registered or certified.
It's got to be registered.
Yeah, I have a firm mailing book and all that.
Do it 3 times, and they're forced to respond.
Well, according to the law, it takes 2 witnesses, an accusation of treason. That's a wrap.
Yeah, but they can refuse it up to 2 times, but on the 3rd time they cannot refuse a response.
Okay. Well, I'll have to do a follow-up.
Very valid.
Yeah. I'll look that
I've
up.
had a lot of experience.
Okay. Jesse Henley. We're no longer associates,
You
but
don't like the response, but they have to respond.
yeah, and they didn't. All right, back to artificial intelligence. Motion artifact controlled micro brain sensors between hair follicles for persistent augmented reality brain computer interfaces. This is from April 7th, 2025. This study overcomes traditional brain computer interfaces BCI limitations by developing motion artifact controlled micro brain sensors that integrate seamlessly between hair strands. So if they have it that small, they're going to continue. Eventually, you're going to be breathing it, eating it, etc., etc. Statement from U.S. Secretary of Commerce Howard Lutnick on transforming the U.S. Artificial Intelligence Safety Institute into the pro-innovation, pro-science U.S. Center for AI, Artificial Intelligence Standards and Innovations. Under this direction of who? President Trump, Secretary of Commerce Howard Lutnick announced his plans to reform the agency formerly known as the U.S. AI Safety Institute, which sounds great, into the Center for AI Standards and Innovation, CASI. They love their acronyms. For immediate release, June 3rd, 2025, under the direction of President Trump, blah, 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 quoting, far too long, censorship and regulations have been used under the guise of national security. Innovators will no longer be limited by these standards. CASI will evaluate and enhance U.S. innovation of these rapidly developing commercial AI systems while ensuring they remain secure to our national security standards, said Secretary of Commerce Howard Lutnick. So, who is the regulatory body over artificial intelligence? The Department of Commerce, of all things. Why? Well, they just might be acting in commerce. Here's some more of the article. If you want to read it, get into it. I just hit the highlight. But right here, what you should see is they're going to coordinate with other federal agencies and entities, including the Department of Defense, Department of Energy, Department of Homeland Security, Office of Science and Technology Policy, and the intelligence community to develop evaluation methods as well as conduct evaluations and assessments. We're going to dive into some more about all of that. National Artificial Intelligence Advisory Committee, NIAC. Act of 2020, the National AI Initiative Act of 2020 calls for the Secretary of Commerce in consultation with the Director of the Office of Science and Technology Policy, the Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth, Secretary of Energy, Secretary of State, and the Attorney General and the Director of National Intelligence to establish the National Artificial Intelligence Advisory Committee. The NIAC is tasked with advising the President and the National AI Initiative Office on topics related to the National AI Initiative. The NIAC consists of leaders with a broad and interdisciplinary range of AI-relevant expertise from across academia, nonprofits, civil society, and the private sector. These experts are highly qualified to provide advice and information on science and technology research, development, ethics, standards, education, governance, technology transfer, commercial application, security, economic competitiveness, and other topics related to AI. Meta, Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg. Now I'm going to get into the money that they're throwing at AI. Meta invests $14 billion in Scale AI to strengthen model training. This is from June 24th, 2025. Meta's $14.3 billion investment in Scale AI represents the social media's giant's most significant move to secure high-quality training data for artificial intelligence model. The deal gives Meta a 49% stake in the data labeling startup while bringing Scale AI founder Alexander Wang into Meta's leadership to head a new super intelligence research lab. What could go wrong with that? Who is Scale AI? Scale AI Incorporated is an American data annotation company based in San Francisco, California. It provides data labeling and model evaluation services to develop applications for artificial intelligence. Scale AI's customers in the commercial sector include Etsy, General Motors, OpenAI. What? A competitor? OpenAI? PayPal, Pinterest, Samsung, Toyota, and Uber. I'm sure among others. The company also directly works with world governments, including the United States, on multiple military-related projects with Qatar to improve the efficiency of its social programs. In June 2025, Meta Platforms agreed to purchase 49% stake for $14.3 billion. Scale AI company history. From 2016 to 2019, Scale was founded in 2016 by Alexander Wang and Lucy Gao. I hope I pronounced that right. Through Y Combinator. I'll get into more of Alexander Wang here in a second. In August 2019, after Peter Thiel's, that would be Palantir, Founders Fund made a $100 million investment in Scale. Its valuation exceeded $1 billion and it acquired unicorn status. Growth from 2019 to 2025. In July 2021, Scale had reached a valuation of $7 billion. So in a mere short, 5 years, it went from nothing to $7 billion. In March 2024, Scale reached a valuation of almost $13 billion. February 2025, Scale AI agreed to a 5-year partnership with the Qatari government to improve governmental services via AI-based tools and training, including predictive analytics, automation, and advanced data analytics. The deal was signed at the Web Qatar 2025 summit by Mohammed bin Ali bin Mohammed Al Mani, the Qatari Minister of Communications and Information Technology. Also in February, the company became a third-party evaluator of AI models for the U.S. Safety Institute. March 2025, Scale AI reached a deal with the United States Department of Defense to develop the Thunder Forge project. Project aims to use AI to, quote, plan and help execute movements of ships, planes, and other assets, close quote, with the goal of speeding up military decisions in both peace and wartime. The contract was awarded to Scale AI and other companies such as Anduril Industries and Microsoft by the Defense Innovation Unit, and it's intended to first be used with the U.S. Indo-PACOM and EUCOM, whatever those acronyms stand for. Additional investment from Meta. The company will remain as a standalone independent entity from Meta. The former CEO, Alexander Wang, took a top position inside Meta as part of the deal. Let's see if I added that. This is about Alexander Wang. So I don't think I have it in here. I'll tell you. Scale AI, before its Meta purchase, was valuated between $20 and $30 billion. Mark Zuckerberg swept in and scooped it up, half price. Did he want those contracts with all those entities that Scale AI had? Nope. So what did he want? He wanted Alexander Wang. Who's Alexander Wang? He's an American billionaire, entrepreneur, tech executive who serves as Meta's chief AI officer since 2025. He's also the co-founder and former CEO of Scale AI, an artificial intelligence company that provides data labeling and model evaluation services to develop AI applications. In 2021, he was the world's youngest self-made billionaire at 24. Forbes estimated his net worth at $3.6 billion as of April 2025. Early life. Wang was born in Los Alamos, New Mexico in January 1997. He is the son of Chinese immigrants who worked as physicists at the Los Alamos National Laboratory in New Mexico. He briefly attended the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, MIT, before dropping out. He literally dropped out of MIT, got his stuff, got on a plane, flew to San Francisco, went and got a job at Y Combinator, created Scale AI, became the youngest self-made billionaire. Alexander Wang, Scale AI. This is from the Sean Ryan Show. I encourage you to go watch this video of Alexander Wang's interview with Sean Ryan. Scale AI provides high quality training data for AI models serving clients. We've already got onto that. OpenAI, Microsoft, the U.S. Department of Defense. What you're going to see in all of these companies, the Amazon, Microsoft, Google, Twitter, YouTube, all of them, they're all constantly working together, contracting together, sharing information, selling information, trading information, doing all kind of crazy things. When you start looking at all the network of how these entities all transact, they all look like just one big organism, like, one big molecule with all the different stuff on it. It's really crazy. And this is the transcript, and I copied it word for word straight off YouTube. This is Sean Ryan. Alexander Wang, welcome to the show, man. Yeah, Alex. Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm not going to say their names. Sean, I'm excited. So am I. Like I was telling you at breakfast, I don't know a whole lot about tech, but ever since Joe came on, I've been trying to wrap my head around it all, and it's just a fascinating subject. I love talking about this subject now, so thank you for coming on. Alex, well, it's becoming so critical to national security, and this is the issue that they're going to use. National security, it's top secret, it's classified, you don't need to know what we're doing behind the scenes. I've highlighted the most important parts. So Sean, yeah, scares the shit out of me. In fact, we were just having a conversation downstairs about you having kids, and you were waiting, and Neuralink came up, and I had to pause the conversation. Dude, I'm like worried about Neuralink, but it sounds like you're pretty gung-ho about it. So yeah, a few things. So yeah, Alex. I mean, what I mentioned is basically, I want to wait to have kids until we figure out how Neuralink or other, it's called brain-computer interfaces, so other ways for brains to interlink with the computer until they start working, because there's a few reasons for this. First is in your 7 years, and this is he's a young kid, so his speech, he has a lot of uhs and pauses in it. 7 years of your life, your brain is more neuroplastic than at any other point of your life, like by an order of magnitude. So basically what he's saying is those first 7 years of life is when you really learn everything, when you're susceptible to knowledge and learning. So as he goes on, he states, I think when we get Neuralink and we get these other technologies, kids who are born with them are going to learn how to use them in crazy ways. Imagine that. He's already saying that it's going to be insane. And so what we need at some point is the ability to tap into AI ourselves, like we're going to need to bring biological life alongside all of the silicone-based or artificial intelligence, and we're going to want to be able to tap into that for our own sake, for humanity's sake. So eventually, I think we're going to need some interlink or hookup between our brains directly to AI and the internet. And all these things, and is potentially dangerous, and it's potentially, to your point, terrifying and scary. But we're just going to have to do it like AI is going to go like this. Humans are going to improve at a much slower rate, and we're going to need to hook up to that capability. So what they're saying is, hey, human evolution is just way too freaking slow. So we're going to speed things up, and we're going to put a biocomputer interface in you, and we're going to connect you to the internet and the Internet of Things. And most of you don't know that they consider human as things. That is an actually real definition of what they think of us. The useless eaters, the hoi polloi. We are things. If you look up what human beings are in Black's Law Dictionary, you will find out that we are what? Anybody know?
A little less than monsters.
Monsters. Absolutely.
You got an educated crowd here.
I do. Thank God. Preaching to the choir. Amen.
Several blocks.
Hallelujah.
Not horrible.
Right.
Actually, it doesn't define human. It says that monster is a little less than human. So I don't think it does define human.
It's defining
I'd like
human.
to see it. Yeah.
I've been down that rabbit hole, and it's sad.
Do you want to be a man or a woman?
We can go to Russia. They clearly have that defined. But over here in the States, not so much.
No, it's the Bible. The Bible defines a man and a woman,
Mhm.
and that's carried through to Black's Law Dictionary. If you look up man and woman, it
In
connects to the
Black's Law?
Bible.
In Black's Law, it will have the right.
It's correct for man and
Oh,
woman,
that's very
Yeah.
interesting.
because you have to take a look first in law. So law, the first law is what law? What is the highest law?
God's law.
Which is natural.
Natural
they
law,
call
yeah.
natural law.
Sure.
Below natural law is what law?
Man's law.
Well, yeah, but of man's laws, there are many types of man's laws. What is the highest of man's law?
The law of war.
Treaty law. So everything is based upon treaties. That's why our absolute brilliant, let's say, founders,
Mhm.
and I include Ben Franklin and Thomas Jefferson in this, because they colluded to totally screw the kings of England through their first treaty. So the treaty, Constitution, and when the war was ended, we owed them money.
Right.
They wanted their money, so they created a treaty, Treaty of Paris.
Right.
And it looks like we got totally screwed, but Franklin totally screwed them. He connected the payment of their money, that will not be questioned. The payment of their money was linked to the Constitution. So nobody can tear up the Constitution or they don't get paid.
Very good.
So that's why, and then they wrote all the treaties connected to the Constitution.
Mm.
That's why the Democrats today love to tear up the Constitution,
Oh, yeah.
but they can't because it means all the treaties are void.
Okay.
So that's why I'm saying Franklin and Jefferson totally screwed everybody that wanted to destroy the country by linking those documents.
Ah, that was
So
clever.
that's treaty law. It's the highest man's law.
Right.
Then below that is equity law. Below that is common law. And then there's admiralty and statutory law,
Right.
which we all believe we're in right now.
Pyramid's upside down again. So Sean says, you're gung-ho about this stuff. Would you put it in? Talking about doing the Neuralink. Would you put it in your brain? Alex stated, I would put it in. But I would be, there's a few things that need to happen before I'd be willing to put it in first. I would really need to feel good about the cyber offense defense posture. Like I need to have really good confidence that I would be able to defend from any attacks, like any sort of cyber attacks. So basically what he's telling you is if they put this brain interface and he's connected to the internet, that somebody might try to hack him or send a Trojan horse into him and corrupt him. And then he's got to be reset. So he's not going to have kids until this develops.
Who is that, Alex?
Alexander Wang. He is now the.
Kids until it's.
Pardon me?
He says he's not going to have kids until it's.
He's not going to have children until there is some type of brain interface machine.
So we can put it in his kid.
Absolutely. So they can speed up evolution.
Right.
Okay. Black's Law. These are the people that are going to lead our future. how many people are subscribed to Facebook?
Unfortunately.
Yeah. And
But Dr. Stephanie,
this is the lead for Mark Zuckerberg, Meta's super intelligence group. He is the CEO, Alexander Wang. This is what this kid wants to do. This is going to be one of the future leaders in technology. Why does Mark Zuckerberg have a $100 million signing bonus to poach engineers from other AI technologies? And I'm going to get into that and answer that question for you. He further states, but I think the actual end game is that we figure out how to upload our consciousness from our meat brains into a computer. This is what this kid wants to do. But what he doesn't know is this is already occurring. He's just, he doesn't know the right people in the industry that are already doing this. He further states, let's say we're sitting here, you know, it's like 50 years from now and this technology exists, and you're asking the question, and I'm skipping all the us, you know, people are going to upload their consciousness. Well, first off, there's a lot of people who naturally would, like people with terminal illnesses, people near death, you know, people who are like very fringe, you know, like experimenting with this new technology. There will be a class of people who will initially just do it. Then as it starts to happen, they'll upload their consciousness. Like if you have a digital, you have the sort of like digital intelligence there, you know, it's true immortality. That's the closest thing you'll get to true immortality. I think it's going to become like once the technology exists, you know, when it exists, it's going to become it's probably going to become a very natural path for most humans to go down. This is what this kid is talking about. This is the group of the super intelligence for AI. Here's Meta's $1 million signing bonuses for OpenAI staff. Sam Altman, OpenAI CEO, said on an episode of Uncapped that Meta had been making giant offers to a lot of people on our team, some totaling $100 million signing bonuses, and that more than that in compensation per year. So not only were they getting just $100 to sign their name with the contract to go work for Meta, they also got this probably enormous salary that's ridiculous. Yeah, right? Yeah, where are we getting that line? This has kicked Zuckerberg into overdrive and reportedly led to the CEO to personally recruit for a new 50-person superintelligence AI team at Meta. And it goes into the $15 billion scale AI purchase. This is an article about Mark Zuckerberg. Legal battles for a million-strong signature campaign could not stop Mark Zuckerberg from slowly buying a mind-boggling 2,300 acres on Hawaii's Kauai Island and building tunnels, tree houses, and a doomsday bunker. In 2014, Mark Zuckerberg arrived in Hawaii with a checkbook and a vision. He began by purchasing 700 acres of oceanfront land on Kauai's North Shore for $100 million. That marked the start of what would become one of the most controversial land acquisitions in modern Hawaiian history. A decade later, the Meta CEO has steadily, quietly expanded his footprint to over 2,300 acres, building a high-tech private compound so massive it rivals the island's annual operating budget in value. And I'm going to get on to some more insanity. A petition to stop Mark Zuckerberg from acquiring land in Hawaii got more than 1 million signatures. Zuckerberg's estate is more than expansive, it's fortified. I don't know how to pronounce that. Ko'alu Ranch is a self-sustaining fortress, outfitted with its own water, food, and energy infrastructure. Permits and drone imagery reveal 2 massive mansions connected by underground tunnels, several guest houses, a gym, a tennis court, even a disc-shaped tree houses suspended in the forest. The centerpiece is a 5,000 square foot underground bunker complete with blast-resistant doors and a tunnel with a hidden escape hatch. Jesus Christ, wouldn't we all like to live in a 5,000 square foot house, right? That's his bunker. If one billionaire can use his wealth to slowly absorb an entire coastline, what stops others from following? Or like Larry Ellison, one island at a time, who owns 98% of the island of Lanai. That's what these billionaires do. Larry Ellison is the second wealthiest person in the world. Mark Zuckerberg, I think, is number 3. And what the fuck news, as David Rodriguez likes to say, and pardon my French, Mark Zuckerberg's stunning $330 million super yacht fleet is being refueled and restocked in Syracuse, Italy, to meet the Facebook co-founder at a secret location. These people have no idea how we live, how we survive. They're on a completely different level. Noel and I had a discussion this morning. He believes that they want more money. My opinion, they want more power.
My answer
That's
was,
my belief.
money is power.
He says money is power, and I would agree with that statement.
They just want less of us.
But when you're worth $284 billion and you can buy an entire island, you can build a 5,000 square foot bunker with tunnels.
What happens there, they want more money so they can buy the earth.
They may not have to buy it. It may just be handed right to them.
See, we think normal, they don't think normal. They get so obsessed that they're like almost like possessed with this idea of money.
The underground bunkers, the Amazon series Fallout. Has anybody watched Fallout on Amazon Prime? I encourage you all to go watch that if you haven't, or at least go catch a trailer or get the synopsis, but I'm going to give it to you. Fallout is set in the year 2296, 219 years after the Great War of 27-7, which killed the vast majority of humanity in a nuclear holocaust. It is heavily implied that Fallout begins near the end of 2096, as the terminal mentions in its 2297 by episode 5, and Lucy mentions the same episode that it's been a rough week. But during the Great War, some citizens of pre-war America managed to survive the war in vaults, massive fallout shelters constructed by Vault Tech Corporation across the United States, and Fallout focuses on their descendants. So basically, these people have been generationally in these underground bunkers for like centuries. They have no clue what the topographical geography or whatever it looks like. So this one girl goes out, boom. She's susceptible to the elements, and it's the hero's journey, basically. So that's what Fallout's all about. So obviously in movies and television, they're telling us what our future could possibly be or could be.
Some of that actually comes from leaked information because there is an entire underground system of transportation and cities built by the TBM.
Yep. The dumbs and the tunnels. Artificial intelligence can be categorized into different types based on its capability and functionality. Here are the main types. Types of AI based on capability. You have narrow AI, which is a weak AI, general AI, super intelligent AI. Types of AI based on functionality. You have reactive machines, limited memory AI, theory of mind AI, self-aware AI. Additional types: generative AI, predictive AI, assistive AI, conversational AI. So all these are different types of AIs. Most of the AIs that y'all interact with, Grok, Chat GPT, all of these AIs are basically search engines on steroids. They just scrape it. Now, when you start getting those paid subscriptions, you bump up and you get a little bit more access to more databases and stuff like that, to different types of AIs. So the issue is that most people, not everybody, most people think that there's only one type of AI, and that's the AI that they're interacting with on their laptop or device, Chat GPT. They have no idea that there's other AIs out there that a lot of it's in China, that there are no regulations. They want to be the supremacy in artificial intelligence technology as well as robotics. And I've always said this, keep your eye on Taiwan, okay? Because Taiwan is the epicenter for AI and robotics in the world, period, end of story. It is the jewel of AI. Pay attention to it. Don't take your eye off Taiwan. It's going to be a huge...
Is that why China wants to take it over?
Partially.
China has actually harvested a number of their citizens to get brain matter and have it combined with AI, etc. Yeah, if they've done stuff that it just blow you out of them.
Anthropic releases AI models exclusive to U.S. national security customers. And what they've done is Claude Gov. That has been adopted by agencies at the highest level of U.S. national security. Claude Gov. I want you to remember that. I'm going to dive in and I'm going to show you what AI is already doing. Okay? This is the AI that's in charge of our national security, governed by the Department of Commerce.
Yeah.
Anthropic previously partnered with big data analytics service company Palantir Technologies Incorporated and Amazon Web Services Incorporated to provide its Claude model family to U.S. intelligence and defense agencies in November. Do you see the connections between these big corporations? Who owns Amazon? Jeff Bezos, one of the 10 wealthiest persons in the world. Do you see a pattern here as I start talking about all these wealthiest people in the world that have surrounded themselves around Trump? You can do your own research on Palantir Technologies. That's Peter Thiel. Go do your research on Peter Thiel. I had it here, but it's not here. So I think I am done with
Jeff
that.
Bezos financed a bunch of woke stuff. Jeff Bezos basically he financed getting Girl Scouts and Boy Scouts together. Girls could join. You know, girls have a right to be girls. Boys have a right to be boys. But not with Jeff Bezos. They just throw them all together. Jeff won't do it. Jeff Bezos is the head news bear.
Where? I have it in the other tab. Let's
But when he started doing what he did, I quit dealing with Amazon. I don't know if I'm thankful.
Oh, that's my watch.
Interestingly enough, they bought all the commercial vehicles, the vans,
Yep.
in 2019. So when the other companies like UPS and FedEx, there was no vehicles for them to buy when the packages went in. Obviously, they knew it was coming.
Yeah, we bought 100,000 advance just before COVID.
Yeah. And I
Kind of like it
warned,
was planned, I mean.
and I tried to warn everybody if they were going to bring COVID in because we had COVID during Vietnam,
Or,
but they didn't know if they figured it would affect our people too. And then I finally realized, hey, we leave our lab clothes inside. We go through the shower, we go outside, grab our street clothes, and none of us ever got COVID. So steam killed COVID. Breathe steam every 2 or 3 days, and you'll never
You
get it.
can't say that on YouTube.
Oh, I didn't know you were being.
You cannot, nothing cures anything on YouTube.
Yeah, okay.
No such thing. Doesn't exist.
No,
Remember when I told you about free speech? We had that discussion.
Yeah, I didn't know you were.
Can't say that.
Okay.
Can't say it on YouTube.
Right.
Yeah.
They'll take your video down and give you a strike. So you're 1 week ban. If you have 2 strikes, 2 week ban. 3 strikes, 3 weeks. 4 strikes, you're out of there. They
Yeah.
take all your data off YouTube and you can't get it.
Sounds like soft police or something.
Yeah.
God, I had this video pulled up. Here we go. Share my screen.
So today, President Trump is set to unveil the long-awaited action plan. He called So today, President Trump is set to unveil the long-awaited artificial intelligence action plan he called for at the beginning of his term, titled Winning the AI Race, a race the president has made clear the U.S. can't lose.
China and other countries are racing to catch up to America, having to do with AI, and we're not going to let them do it. We have the great chips, we have the great everything, and we're going to be fighting them in a very friendly fashion. I have a great relationship with President Xi, and we smile at the back and forth, but we are leading.
Simeon Bochev is a former AI executive at Apple who will be attending the AI summit. The president will be speaking.
$1 billion at least in AI infrastructure.
The data centers are actually under construction. The first of them are under construction in Texas, the Abilene location, which is our first location.
Abilene is a town on the western central plains of Texas. We kind of scratch and fight for everything good that comes our way.
I had people reaching out and they said, well, is the president going to come see you? And I said, well, he hasn't texted me yet. So.
I'm thrilled we get to do this in the United States of America. I think this will be the most important project of this era.
Welcome to Abilene, Texas. This is the site of Project Stargate, a very mysterious, much talked about, much speculated about project that brings together OpenAI, SoftBank, Oracle. If it all comes together, building after building on this red dirt behind me will be filled with chips that'll power the AI revolution.
What we're undergoing right now is sort of the largest infrastructure bill in human history. It's going to create new ways of doing business. It's going to create new ways of invention, and it's going to really drive humanity forward.
I was in the real estate business. These buildings, these are big, beautiful buildings. They're going to employ a lot of people.
How do you personally grapple with the pace of it all?
It does feel like it's going very fast. Certainly think if I could transport myself back 3 years ago, it would seem like unimaginable progress.
This is amazing, explosive growth
of intelligence. That's coming in our decade. Everything will change.
When Stargate was first announced, there was a lot of skepticism. A lot of people thought it's just too big to be true. So this is your very first look. Hello.
Hey, Emily.
Thank you so much for having us.
Welcome to Abilene.
It's so awesome to be here.
Yeah.
It's all happening.
I know.
How many people are on this site?
Today we have about 2,200 people on site.
The guy at the heart of the Stargate build in Abilene is Chase Lockmiller. He's the founder of Crusoe, the little-known data center startup overseeing this massive project.
We started construction here last June of 2024. This was just a complete barren field.
So
right?
there was nothing here in June?
There were a bunch of mesquite trees and bushes and brush.
Stargate is so mysterious. What actually is happening here?
What will eventually be here is 8 separate buildings, all containing very large clusters of fully interconnected GPUs.
Yeah.
We're going to do a tour of some of that. This is going to get us around the whole 1,200-acre campus.
Hey, we're going on an adventure.
It's like getting around Jurassic Park.
I love that.
All right, let's go off-roading.
I feel like we're going on a data center safari.
It is much like a data center safari.
Crusoe's 8 planned buildings will hold up to 400,000 chips, which would make this one of the world's largest known compute clusters. The partners behind Stargate, OpenAI, Oracle, and SoftBank, have committed $100 billion to the project so far, and claim they're prepared to put in 5 times that as they expand to multiple sites. This first site in Abilene has been dubbed Project Ludicrous, as in
Ludicrous speed. Ludicrous speed.
which is appropriate. The whole thing is supposed to be done by mid-2026.
Are you round the clock, 24 hours a day?
We're round the clock. It is very much a 24/7 operation. We're trying to deliver on the fastest schedule that a 100 megawatt or greater data center has ever been built.
So why the ludicrous rush? Well, because Stargate is part of a much larger AI race. Companies like Microsoft, Meta, Google, Amazon, and xAI are all building AI data centers of their own at sites across the US and beyond. Each company wants to have the most capable AI being used by the most people, and they've committed tens of billions of dollars to make it happen.
There's no reason we won't scale up our computing 100,000 times in a few years.
I'm good for my 80 billion. I'm going to spend $80 billion building out Azure.
The downside of being behind is that you're out of position for like the most important technology for the next 10 to 15 years.
But beyond just making better AI, many tech leaders want to be the first to create AGI, artificial general intelligence, a super smart agent that can think and learn just like a human, if not better. Large language models like ChatGPT have gotten more capable as the technology's evolved, so the hope is that adding an astronomical amount of compute will make them even more capable.
Take me back to the beginning before Stargate. What did you start seeing that made you realize we need more compute, more power, more connectivity, that you were hitting a limit and needed to scale?
We used to think a lot about the compute we would need to train the models. And what we didn't used to think about as much as how much people were going to use these models. I mean, we did think about it. It just turned out people want to use the models much more than we imagined. And a couple of years ago, maybe after the launch of GPT-4 in ChatGPT, it really started to hit like, oh man, this is like gone from a lot of compute to like the biggest infrastructure project in history. And out of that emerged Stargate.
Why call it Stargate?
It began as a code name and sometimes code names stick.
But it means something, right?
The design of one of the very early layouts of a data center looked a little bit like Stargate from